Okay, not too bad. All right, hello, hello. I'll give people a couple minutes to join. Hello, hello. If you're here, say hi so I can see if I have any comments. Hey, Deborah. Okay, okay. Hello, Susan. Hey, Miss Kathy. Let me cut my wax paper off. Let me try to fix my phone holder. It's because it's so hard. It's hard to do on this. I need to get another phone holder. So this is usually how I prep my palette, right? It comes that I've had this one forever. I ran out of the paper for it, and honestly I kind of just prefer wax paper, and I buy these little sponges off of Amazon, and I just kind of cut it to shape. Right now it is sopping wet with some very hot water, and then I just go and I cut it to the spot. Of course, these scissors are super dull. Come down and join me for a little paint along. I like to soak my paper not like soak it in water, but I like to let the water kind of absorb. You can start to see it underneath the palette. And again, if this is your first time watching one of my tutorials, hello. I have a lot of information about palettes. Tonight, I don't really want to be too repetitive. I have done over 60 something tutorials on my YouTube, and a lot of them have the same information, the same types of questions that I constantly answer, and I just don't want to be a broken record tonight for those who are always here or, you know, have watched my stuff regularly. You guys can go back and check out some of my past work to get any answers to any questions that you might have in regards to what's a wet palette, what do you use it for, blah, 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 etc., etc. Oh God, I'm spilling my stuff over here. All right, so I'm gonna do a palette prep. Hold on. Let me get you. Hey Heather, aren't you busy tonight? Hello Holly, Anita, Connie, Jessica, Krista, hello, hello. Okay, so I'm undecided. Honestly, my tail, I'm gonna do what Heather doesn't. I'm gonna say my tail is a little bit down today. My mama left. She made it back home already, safe and sound, thank God. But I am a little sad today, so I was like, I'm gonna do a little paint along with my friends because I need some cheering up. So I'm gonna let you guys decide what you want to do tonight. I have either a, what are they called? The Great Horned Owl neon version, or a waterfall nighttime landscape. So if you guys are here, if people start voting, let me know. I might just decide last minute what is easier, because you guys know I'm very unprepared when I do these. So drop a comment, let me know. I'm working on a 4-inch square today. Got my pencil out. And as soon as we decide what to do, we will go ahead and lay down our colors on our palette. Owl or landscape? Owl or landscape? I don't see anybody commenting. I wish I could play music so it wouldn't be so deathly loud in here, but Facebook flags you for it. Super lame, Facebook. All right, we got 1 vote owl, 1 vote waterfall, 1 vote owl, 1 vote waterfall, waterfall. Hey, Michelle. Girl, it's almost payday. I'm ready to put in another order with you. If anybody's ever gotten one of my little packages during an auction, Miss Michelle Taylor Smith is actually the one who makes those super cute little pens. Waterfall, landscape. All right, so no owl, definitely landscape. Let's go. Let's get it. Anyway, sorry, I got cut off there. If anybody has ever wondered, she is the brains behind the beautiful pens. Check her out. Michelle, tag your group if you're here. Let me zoom in here. All right, let's get our color palette then. We're gonna do a little waterfall. It's almost payday, girl. All right, so we're gonna be working, it's gonna be like a nighttime scene. We're gonna have a little willow, some florals. So we definitely want some pops of color in there. Of course, I always start my palette with a black and a white. Yes, there you go. Michelle's Colorful Creations. Check her out, she's super affordable, guys, and she does so many cool things. This is not a sponsored, by the way. You guys know that I like to share with you guys where I get my stuff. We ain't gatekeeping here. Where's my white? Oh, here it is. All right, so start off with your white, start with your black. We're gonna use a lot of black. You know, that's how I build up my waterfalls. And of course, I do want to preface this, as always, by saying I am not a professional artist. I am just a mom who paints. I don't know what I'm doing, so please take my advice with a grain of salt, because I do not know what I'm doing half the time. So I'm just here painting along with you guys on this wonderful Friday. Wait, is today Friday? Yes, on this wonderful Friday night. Getting some me time. Oh my God, this is really clogged. I'm a little bit anxious right now. I don't know if you guys can tell. I have like a lot of anxiety today. And on top of that, I was watching The Last of Us. I don't know if you guys are into that show, but I had been waiting for so long for my husband to come back from his training to finish watching season 2, like to even start it. And we just started season 2, and I can already tell that I'm gonna be crying at the end of episode 2. I had to tell him to pause because I was like, oh my God, I gotta go on live. And then I started getting messages that I was like late, and I was like, oh my God, I forgot to put, it's not Eastern time, I'm in Central time. But again, my mom left today, so my mind's been kind of everywhere. And I'm sorry, I was not thinking when I put Eastern time. I guess I was thinking of my bestie who is on Eastern time. Heather is the one that's over there, and I am on Central. Man, I'm almost out of paint. I gotta put it in order soon. I'm just gonna use the old swipe out method. All right, so bright aqua green. We're just placing a whole bunch of blues. If you guys have colors that look semi-close, go ahead and go for those. I'm gonna grab some green because we are gonna be doing some shrubs, some greenery. Everybody loves waterfalls. Waterfalls are calming, relaxing. What else? Pinks. Grab your pinks, grab your yellows, grab your neons. You already know I mix my neons into my paintings to make them a little bit brighter, so want to make sure that we grab some of those if you haven't already. You know, I don't really think I'm going to be using some browns today. Definitely some yellows. Unclog your paints. Come along with me as we prep our paint palette. Oh God, this one's really clogged. Oh, y'all are quiet today. Is everybody tired from the long week? Has it been a long week for anybody? Some yellow. All of my paint. That's how long it's been since, like, every single one of my paints is clogged right now. I haven't had a chance to really like paint in a hot minute. Hey, Adriana. You're funny. I'm glad to see you here. It's been a while. Where have you been? Just kidding. It has been a while, though. I haven't seen you around much. Northern Wisconsin. Okay, okay. Michigan. My husband was born in Michigan. Let me grab some red. No, I don't really want red. Just some purples and some pinks. Pretty flower colors. Aw, Jessica. Well, I hope that you get some time to rest and some time to clear your mind of any anxieties, concerns. This is going to be a semi not toxic positivity circle tonight because, you know, sometimes we just need to vent. Sometimes we just need to say, you know what, life kind of sucks lately, and that's okay too. It lets other people know that they're not alone. Oh my God, speaking of not being alone, have you guys watched Elio? Let me tell you, we all took the kids to watch it this past week. That movie broke me, okay? That movie absolutely broke me. I was just bawling, like ugly crying, heaving, like in the middle of the movie theater. And, well, me and my mom were actually both pretty wrecked. My husband was like, get it together, what are you doing? I was like, I can't help you understand it. Like, I don't know. Has anybody watched Elio? Somebody tell me they have. Let me open this purple because I need a new one. Unless I just try to pull the topper off of this. Every last drop counts, man. Like, I do not mess around with these neons. I will pour them out. Let's leave that there for a little bit. Hey, Ashley. Oh, come on, come on. Every bit, every little last drop counts. Let me tell you though, these neons last forever. You guys know how many neon looks I've done? A lot. And I incorporate these. So if you haven't gotten these, I definitely recommend them. They are gouache form, which just means that they are reactive. They're very pigmented, but they're not like acrylic. When acrylic dries, it just dries. And that's it. There's no reactivating it. You have to reapply if you want to blend it out or whatever. But with gouache, it's reactivated with water. So you can, you know, if you're stuck with a painting and you're like, oh man, I forgot this, gouache is a great way to practice your blending as well. It's just sometimes, depending on the brand, they're a little bit thinner, but these are really, really great. The neons are perfect. So here is my palette so far. I'm sure that I will add colors, and if I do, of course, I will let you guys know. Let's see. Oh man, it's so hard. It's so hard to like remind yourself to like not do anything. And it sounds like something so simple and so trivial. Like today, I'm just gonna not do a single thing. And sometimes we really, most of the times I think we really, really need that. But it's hard to quiet the voices in our head to remind us that it's okay to rest and that it's okay to just not do anything. Not a thing, not a single thing, and just be, just breathe. Oh yeah, your oldest cried. Yeah, it is so good. Oh, Michelle, if you cried at Inside Out, Elio is gonna absolutely just wreck you. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. Well, for me, it did. It was just a really beautiful message about feeling really, really alone in such a big, big world and realizing that you're really not, that there's other people experiencing the same things that you are. Honestly, this last one was since my last tutorial, so however long, it's been about a week, and I could have probably still done it. So usually anywhere from like a week and a half to 2 weeks before I redo it. So here's my vision, right? We're gonna have a moon over here. We're gonna have a little waterfall. We're gonna have background trees. So I'm gonna teach you guys how to push stuff to the back without it looking like fakey, I guess. I'm gonna try to teach you guys. I'm not sure if I can pull it off, but here we go. So of course, align your rock down the middle. Mark yourself if you need the marking. I'm gonna go a little bit darker than I usually do so that I can see you, because that was a comment I got on my last live. I'm not a very heavy dark sketcher, but when I need to show something, I will. So I'm gonna go about a third of the way up. Mark your line, make sure that you are straight, and if not, that's okay. You can straighten it when you get to the paint portion. Remember, you're not married to your sketch. This is just to give myself a general idea of where my waterfall is going to be, and so that I can go ahead and paint the back. This is going to be whereabouts my moon is going to be. But I do want to just blend the sky first. Honestly, this painting is going to be a little bit for risk-taking. I recently tried to challenge myself to paint without having to sketch at first, right? Because Bob doesn't sketch. Bob Ross does not sketch. He just paints. So I'm going to try to do like Bob Ross and just do my thing. So, all right. I'm going to erase this line because this is a little too dark for my liking. And regardless, this is where our sky is going to be. So try not to shake my table so that my phone doesn't move everywhere like crazy. And let's grab a flathead brush right here. I'm just gonna grab some of my regular blue. It's a primary blue, very deep, very rich. And I did talk about this a lot on my last live about building up your colors. So I'm just gonna do a nice simple sky gradient, okay? Oh, here come my kiddos. Hey babies, what are y'all doing? You came to get some water? Hey, what are y'all fighting about over here? What are y'all fighting about?
I'm just drinking water. Carter, don't leave yet. I'm drinking.
Carter, wait for your brother. You know he doesn't like to go upstairs by himself. Thank you, babe. All right, so we're gonna continue on with this. Blend wise, we're gonna probably do about 2 layers, and then I'm going to grab my aqua green. Just like that, they're gone. So I swear, sometimes my kids, like, I don't even know what they're doing up there with their dad. They're just hanging out with dad. And we're just gonna blend wet on wet. Oh my goodness. Someone's very upset. But I know y'all understand, y'all have kids. All right, I'm gonna also add in some baby blue to my mix because I did not add that to my paint palette. And we're gonna finish off this color. I have not been, the only time that I rinsed my brush off is between the dark and the light. But since I'm going from aqua to baby blue, those colors are pretty similar in color, so I'm not gonna stress too much about blending it out because this is mostly going to be covered anyway by the trees. And this is of course just the first layer, so I'm not gonna stress about it. I will come back and add a second layer so that you don't see as many paint lines and kind of just brightens up those colors nice and rich. So from here to about here, our waterfall is going to be really tiny, guys. This is where we're going to start painting in some of the water, but for now I just want to paint this section black, and this section is going to be where the waterfall is. And of course, remember that I know not everybody has perfectly square rocks. Just try your best on whatever rock you do have. I just happen to have an abundance of these squares, so I gotta use what I can when I can. Look at your rock, look at the shape of your rock, picture something. I wouldn't necessarily say use it in like a landscape form because it's not gonna give you much room to go up. So let's say that you have a rock that's shaped like this, right? I would not use it this way because you're gonna run out of space. I would use it this way and try to cram it in so that you have space for the sky, the trees, the shrubs, etc. Oh, thanks, Miss Kathy. I was trying to be patriotic. Even when we don't feel a little patriotic, my daughter requested the blue. She said she wanted me to match her. She has dark blue nails right now. All right. Oh, y'all are a quiet bunch today, except Jessica. Jessica's over here chit-chatting with me. It's like hot right now in my house too. Let me turn the air down. Okay. Am I in the shot? Oh my God. I desperately need to get a new phone holder because this one shakes with any little bump or tap into the phone. Water all over my laptop. Okay. So while we wait for this to dry, I am going to paint some of this reflection down here, which is going to be opposite of this. And it's going to be very small, minimal space, but we're not focusing so much on this as so much as creating a whole image. So I'm going to go on with just a tiny bit of baby blue, a little sliver, and then just go in. I did not rinse my brush off. I just kind of wiped it off on the rag. And just go side to side and bring that in with some teal, dark teal, or you can go in with some blue. I wanted a teal because I feel like it just reflects the light off a little bit better from the moon. I'm rinsing my brush off repeatedly and wiping it off on the rag that I have below so that I don't pick up the blue and mix into that lighter color. And I'm just gonna go back and forth over it so that the line kind of disappears and blends out smoother. Hey Jane, thank you. I try. Oh, Jessica, go do your mom thing, girl. I appreciate you being here, but don't feel like you gotta be here. You can definitely go, come back, watch the replay whenever you get the chance. Trust me, if anybody gets it, I do. The mom life is rough, man. You want to do your own thing, you want to listen to your audiobook, but you also want to listen to music, but you also want to be connected to friends. I 100% get it. Trust me when I say that, because this past 2 weeks I was stuck with, I want to spend time with my mom, I want to do stuff with the kids, I want to do stuff with as a family, I want to spend time with my husband. So I was torn in so many different directions, and you know, I want to paint, I want to do this, I want to do that, and at the end of the day you gotta just kind of do what you feel is the best. So I completely did a detox from my phone. I haven't been really on my phone. I haven't been really checking my messages. And honestly, I wish that I could say that I was sorry, but I'm kind of not. I have enjoyed just unplugging. Unplugging is sometimes so necessary, especially in today's world with so much constant bad news, so much constant anxiety, fear. It's okay to unplug and just do your thing. The people will wait, the world will wait, and if they don't, then they're not your people. So, oh, there's a little fleece here, a little hair or something got stuck in there. So I'm just coming back down, repeating my little blend. I went from blue to turquoise. I probably didn't use that color at first, but it is what it is. That's what I ended up coming out with. Bruno, what are you doing? Going in with some of that aqua, grabbing up a little bit of water because that paint is a little bit thick. It's the one that was stuck inside of them. Bruno, don't start. Don't start. He's gonna start. He's 100% gonna start. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Let me handle my dog. Hey, you need to chill. Relax. Now is not the time. Now is not the time. I don't want to hear you bark. Go take it outside. Take it outside. Outside. Thank you. I always get these little spurts of energy. Okay. My chair creaks every time I sit down. It's like, girl. picked up some of the black. That's okay. Try to pick up some of it with my brush, and if not, it's no biggie. It's now part of the painting. And I'm just going in between the colors, trying to get a nice, smooth, easy blend. Blend it out, blend it out. Look at it from head on. Sometimes I can't see what I'm doing because I'm painting at an angle with my phone directly over the painting, so I don't see if I'm messing up or not. Okay, and then rinse, wash, and repeat, right? So come back down, do it down, what you're doing to the top, do down here to the bottom. If you're going over your lines, it's okay. This is gonna turn out to be shrubs and trees, bushes, flowers. If you want to darken it up a little bit more, go ahead and darken it up. Back and forth. Blending as easy as the water your paints are, and I mean wet, not sopping wet. You don't want them to be drenched. You don't want there to be like water all over your rock. You want them just wet enough to where you can blend a little bit better. Carl Bruno is a hoot. He drives me nuts sometimes. He's a little bit upset with me because last night we had to drive up to Oklahoma City. That's where my mom was flying out of, so, and her flight was really, really early, like at 6 in the morning. So we said, you know what, why don't we just go up to the city, get a hotel room for the night, like that's really close to the airport, so we don't have to wake up so early, drive all the way out here. And we did, and it was so much fun. The kids had a blast, you know, doing kid stuff in the hotel room, and we left the dogs here because we have a dog door and a gravity feeder so they can go in and out, yada yada. And we had our neighbor come and check on them. One of our, not even a neighbor, he's one of our friends. And he came and checked on them, but I have this little camera inside my house so that I could watch them. Man, it's just so sad because he just kept looking at the door like we abandoned him, and I felt so bad. So he's been a little bit upset with me, so I'm gonna let his little tantrums slide today because he thought that we left him, but we did not. It was just for a night. And then we woke up, and by the time that my husband came back from dropping off my mom, the kids were like wide awake, right? So we're like, let's just drive back home. We were gonna spend the day in Oklahoma City, but I was just too sad, so we ended up coming back and got here about 6 in the morning. So if I start to drag a little bit in a couple minutes here, you know why. I've been up since very, very early in the morning, like 3:30. Yeah, I know you have a lot of anxiety, like I do. It's rough. It's a rough world out there right now. So let's try to get this dry. While we get it dry, start envisioning the size that you want your moon. Start finding something round that you can put in. If you have a stencil, use a stencil to draw your circle. I mean, it could be as easy as finding a paint and putting it on there. It just depends on how big you want your moon to be. Personally, I don't want it to take up the entire sky. I just want something small, but where's my circle stencil? First of all, let me get that. Remember, trust the process. Yeah, this is the one. So I'm not gonna put it exactly in the center. I know that that's why we had drawn the line at first, but I'm gonna put it a little bit off to the center. Grab your pencil, trace your little circle. And I don't want it at the very top of the rock either, because I am gonna have a hanging willow branch coming out this way and kind of covering up some of that moon. So don't stress about the moon. Remember last time I was like, don't stress about this. We can cover it up with the cloud. It's the same concept tonight. You don't have to worry about, I feel like I always say that, like, you don't have to worry about anything when you're painting, because everything can always be either fixed or nobody's gonna know if you made a mistake, right? Who's gonna know? Nobody's gonna know. They're only going to see your final result. So I'm going to come in and fill this in with some white. I'm like hyper focused right now on this circle. It'll get there. I'll eventually round off this top. Okay. So that's my first coat. Of course, I'm gonna have to go back in with a second coat. And then from here, make sure that your stuff is completely dry. Otherwise, it will just lift off or scratch off the paint. I'm going to start to see where my waterfall is gonna be. And I want it to be a 2-layer waterfall. So I am going to be drawing a line, a second line here. Okay. The first portion of the waterfall will be a lot thicker than the bottom portion. And right about where that halfway line should have been, where we drew it at the beginning, kind of just as a guide for yourself. I can still see a little bit down, and I can just kind of guide myself down here. Here's the center to my waterfall. I want to make sure it's a little bit centered, and then come out a little bit on both sides, make it a little equal. And that's all we're gonna do for the waterfall right now. I'm gonna start building the layers up here in the back now that this section is drying. Remember, once something dries, start working on the next thing so that it doesn't take you as long to do the painting. And just for time's sake for me as well, because I don't want to be on here for, 100 hours. So let's grab a little, we want like a Fred brush, but with good waterfall bristles. So see, this is like a good Fred brush with waterfall bristles. The reason why is because they're mostly separated. There's like old paint stuck here. I mean, this brush has been through it. That's perfect. Always save your old brushes. They will be your best friend when you are creating water, fur, texture. This may be a good brush. It used to be a fine liner. This brush used to look like this brush. Sort of. Same concept, but this is what this brush used to look like, and this is what it now looks like, because I am very aggressive when I paint. But these make the best brushes. I mean, don't throw them away. Don't throw the ugly ones away. They will be your best friends. I'm gonna use a little bit of this one maybe. I think for now I'm just gonna stick mostly with this. So, are you guys ready? Do you trust me? I know it seems a little bit scary, but we are going to completely try to cover some of this sky up. I know, you're like, I work so hard on my blend. That's why I say don't worry, don't hyper focus on one thing. Just go with the flow. So we're gonna start about here, wherever that is for you, and go down. Maybe we want to leave some space right here. And I'm not going directly in the center of the waterfall either, okay? Because this is going to have some movement to it. And we're going to come up about here. So what we're going to do here is we are going to completely cover this with a dark teal mix. Let's grab some paint. Don't get shy about it. We're gonna grab some blue, and remember, if you have these colors already, you do not have to mix. I do it simply because this is how I paint. If you have a color that's already similar to this, use that. Use that 100%. So I mixed some oranges. Guys, my mind is everywhere. Some blue, some green, and some teal. It's very dark. I'm not adding black to it because I don't want it to be muddy. I just want it to be off in the distance. So I'm just gonna lay my paint down here. But, hold on, let me just fill this in before I start yapping over here. I need a better brush. I'm gonna go in with a fluffier brush just to kind of lay my color down. I'm gonna add some more blue to this. I want it darker. I want to darken it up, maybe just a smidge of black. And I mean like the littlest portion. Yeah, that's more like it. Okay, if you have navy blue, that works as well. And it's probably a little bit better. I just don't like the navy blue that Liquitex has. It's not very opaque. So let's come over here, or it's a little too opaque. Lay my color down. Don't stress about this part because this is just going to be the back portion. This is just going to be where you build on your trees and your shrubs, okay? Give yourself enough space though. Remember, here is my line that I drew in, and here's where I'm stopping, and I'm going to show you why, because we're going to do some willows back here. And we don't want to use up all of our space that we designated for our willows or our background color, because this is just going to be the area for the shrubs. Coming back like this. And then as I get here, I do have my fluffy brush. You can see that my bristles are, I don't know if you can, but my bristles are kind of separated. I don't want a clump. I don't want them to be like this. This is no bueno. It has a big lump of paint. So I'm just gonna try to get as much of the paint off on my palette, kind of tap it off, tap off the excess. If you wanna save it, you can tap it on your rag below, just to give those bristles some separation. And you don't want the paint clumped down here because that's what's gonna give you that big old spool. You want the texture for your brush. So from here, I'm gonna start to pull out. What I mean by that is I'm gonna swoop, 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 swoop. See how it just kind of does the work for you. Swoop, swoop, swoop. Take a shot of whatever you're drinking every time I say swoop. Kool-Aid, Kool-Aid Jammer, Capri Suns, wine, tequila, I don't know. I will remind people, yes, I know that my videos are in a group of all ages and that I do have my YouTube channel. However, when I do upload my YouTube, I do click as it's not made for kids, and I say that as a warning because I do know that there's some people, you know, who have had their children paint along with my tutorials, which is great. I absolutely love that. I thank you for that. I thank you for showing them art at a very early age. But I am an adult. I do sometimes say some stuff that's not appropriate for all ages. So just be wary, because I might let, you know, a bad word slip out here or there, or make a innuendo or reference that's more for mature ages, you know, so just take a shot, you know, take a drink every time. So stuff like that, just as a warning. They are not intended for kids. The kids are more than welcome, of course, to paint along, but my main audience is adults. So let me wipe my brush off, and you can see here we're creating kind of like a little backdrop. I know it looks a little like, what the heck is that right now, but we will get there. So now that we're here, I'm going to start adding a little bit more of a green value to the same paint that we mixed up over here. And I'm using that very bright green. I believe it's called Hooker's green. And I'm gonna take my paintbrush and just tap in over here. And the reason I'm doing this is to block out that line, and we're gonna start to build some shrubs over here. These are our willows. We're trying to get rid of the line, which you technically could do with this color that we laid down. There's no issue in that. I just want a different set of colors, so I know that I'm transitioning from the back willows to some shrubs, greenery, etc. over here, okay? Oh, I know. I don't drink either, so I'm there with you. What are y'all ladies talking about over here? Kelly's got going on about Dumas and Cain's twin. What is that? Oh, The Young and the Restless. Oh, okay. I do not know what that is. I think it's like a soap, right? The Young and the Restless. It sounds like a book, like a spicy book. The Young and this week on The Young and the Restless. All right, so now that I'm here, I'm going to start building in my layers of shrubs. But before I do that, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me grab my, this is not a fine, well, I guess it would be a fine liner to some. For me, it's not. It's just for working with smaller spaces. I'm going to do a second coat over here on my moon. Because remember, when something is drying, you want to go back and work on something else, right? I know my moon just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I keep going out the lines. It's okay. Nobody's gonna know. All right. CBS soap. You know, when I was younger, I did used to watch General Hospital and All My Children. Man, those were the days. Well, and a lot of also Spanish telenovelas, because of course my grandma who was with me during the day most of the time. So lots and lots of telenovelas, which I probably shouldn't have been watching at that age, but it made me who I am. So here I'm going to start sketching in my rocks, okay? So we said that this is going to be the second layer. We have, you know, our 4 little tiers here. So we're gonna have a big mossy rock here. We're gonna have a big mossy rock here. And we're just drawing an oval shape. Oh my gosh. And another big mossy rock here. So you see how it's kind of opening it up? Not me trying to validate my monstrous painting right now. And we're gonna add another one. Maybe this one's gonna be a little bit longer. And another one here. And of course, you already know this is all gonna be painted black. But the reason I did that was because I'm gonna start to sketch in my trees so that I know what general area I'm gonna use. So I'm gonna start from here. Picture this is all gonna be just hidden shrubs and flowers, florals, all of the above. So I'm gonna start maybe about here. I mean, I already marked off the line, I might as well, right? And I'm gonna just go for it. I'm gonna bend the willow tree this way, up out of the picture. And this whole thing is not gonna be a willow tree, but this is going to be, make it thinner the closer it gets. So big tree trunk here, and then start to thin it out. And another tree over here, which I think this one will also be started here. And let's just drag it up. Maybe till about here. Now we are going to be covering this, so this is just to give you a general guide. Don't stress about painting, about sketching it too much. This is just to give you an idea, a visual of where your stuff is going to go. If you don't even want to sketch it in so that you can practice painting without a sketch, go ahead and do that. But for now, we will start to fill in this area with black, which means the rocks are going to be filled with black. The sides of the rocks are going to be filled with black. If you want to leave yourself a little space in between so that you don't lose yourself like that, or if you want to just fill the whole thing in with black, that's okay too. Because we are building on these colors. Again, I'm leaving this little space for those of you that need the visual guide of where our greenery is going to start and where our mossy rocks are going to start. What Audible book am I listening to? Oh girl, I don't know if I should say it. I feel like people will judge me. You know what kind of books I listen to. So, I believe it's called Surrender to Me. It's part of the Wolf Hotel series by, oh my goodness, I don't even know her name. I don't. It's the Wolf Hotel series, and there's like 5 or 6 books. I think I'm on book 5 or maybe 4. But I'm trying to listen to this final one because they are free on Audible until July 1st. So I have this weekend. So I have this weekend to read the rest of that one book. To see how it ends. I have to see how it ends. I kind of love that. I think that this is the first, no, this is like the, I'm lying. Okay, maybe it's not that uncommon. It's, because, you know, most of the stuff that we read is like, for example, like the Ana Huang series, you know, book 1 is 2 sets of characters, and then book 2 is, you know, another 2 sets of characters, and then they all kind of intertwine the characters all together throughout the series. But this one is just focusing on one main couple the whole time, and I kind of really like that, because then I don't have to, like, oh, I don't remember who this is, or I don't remember who that is, you know, so it's interesting. All right, so from here, let's go ahead and also fill in our tree trunk. I feel like I haven't talked to my friends in a really long time. I've kind of just become a hermit. I don't know. I feel really bad sometimes, and this is like real talk, confession time. I do feel really bad sometimes because there are a lot of people who, you know, reach out or check in on me, and I've kind of just gone off the grid. But I don't know, man. I really needed it. I really needed it for my mental health. I needed to just be off of social media, spend time with my family. You kind of just realize what's, you know, what's needed for you without having to feel guilty about it or apologize about it. So if you see me on here live and you have a message in my inbox that I haven't opened, I haven't read, I haven't responded to, it's not because I hate you, it's not because I don't like you. I just sometimes want to be on social media without having to respond back. Doesn't mean I won't ever. It doesn't mean I don't appreciate you reaching out. Does that make sense? You get burnt out. I've been doing this for 5 years now. 5 years of answering questions and helping out, you know, when people need it. And you do get burnt out. You get burnt out, and it takes a toll on you mental health wise. So I did need to kind of just step back and reel it in. Oh, I'll send you a picture of it. I'm pretty sure the one that I'm on is called Surrender to Me. I know that sounds so cheesy. Okay, so from here, let's start building on these front shrubs that are going to be kind of behind this tree over here. And they will be a darker green color. I know that's not, I know I get all dark and gloomy, right? But it's because sometimes people, you know, they get really like judgmental. They'll say, oh, you know, like she's not commenting on her stuff. Like, you guys know I'm the worst at commenting on my posts. Like, I kind of just come and dump and drop, and I know people take the time to comment on it, and it is rude to just ignore it. Sometimes people just can't. Like, sometimes people just don't have the mental capacity to do it. So just save some space for grace is all. So I'm gonna come up to about here. Remember how I told you guys I was trying to do a different line back here with this light green? See how it kind of pushes, it it gave me a reason to get rid of this harsh line that we painted in at first, but also push the willow trees to the back so that they're further away. And now I can come in with a darker green color over here. And we're just tapping in from the top, that's all we're doing. And the reason that I say tap in from the top with the scruffy brush is because when you look up close, you see that not all of it is covered, because it's going to be a tree, it's going to be a shrub. You can kind of see through the back to that base color that we laid down. And again, let's come over here. Let's tap and create our hedge. I rinsed my brush off. I'm wiping off the excess. And I will be going in with light blue. So again, tap off the excess, and I'm gonna tap and pull, tap and pull, tap and pull. Not big pulls. This is not Niagara Falls. They're just tiny, tiny little shrubs that have a little bit of different texture. Yes, the bottom is wet, but that's okay because we're kind of trying to make it all blend seamlessly, right? And the tap and blend is only over here on this side, okay? Right here, I'm just gonna tap. Because where is it gonna go down to, right? I guess it could. You just go in and create your different textures, whatever you feel like is coming out right. It doesn't have to be exact to mine. Unless it's completely different. Because I will say that. I know that I always say make it yours, but don't paint like a completely different picture, like for giveaway purposes. You know, because we want to kind of just try to stick to the same. I mean, make it your own as far as like not every minuscule little detail has to match. Try to get the colors together. I might just pull in this tutorial with the other one as for the giveaway. So you have an option, whatever is easier for you. So tap, pull, tap, and pull. My pullings are coming in a little bit chunkier, so what does that mean? I have to look at my brush and kind of really see where my texture is and use that side of the brush better. See? My pulls are a little bit more separated this time. Take a minute, examine your brushes, really look at them, get in tune with them, and start to build on those layers. And then from here, I'm gonna go in with just a little bit of a lighter green and yellow mix so that this bottom portion is still a little bit wet. So I'm hoping it picks up some of that darker green hue. And go in. Just over here in the outer edge because we're gonna start adding some florals, okay? And maybe some more baby blue. We're just creating layers on layers and layers of what's being drawn to the front. I have a little pencil mark over here that I'm gonna erase. Let me just grab my pencil real quick. Where did I put it? Okay. So while that ends up drying, I'm gonna start working on my mossy rocks. So let's grab some of this as well. And let's go in with this dark green mix that we made over here. There's the blue, the green, and just a little smidge of black, I think. And just start tapping in. Not all the way to the bottom. You want the bottom to be black, but just kind of around the top. And you'll see that you can't really see it that much on the camera. I will hold it up right now in just a moment. It looks like there's not really anything going against the black, but I promise there is. Remember, we built the layers. It takes time to create the art. It's not just and it's done. You gotta, sometimes some of these paintings that I do do take hours and hours and hours. And then I try to teach something similar and it ends up, you know, I have to try to cram something that would usually take me hours into, you know, maximum of 2-3 hours. So here we go. You can kind of see the greenish hue. I'm going to try to get a smaller brush like that, a fluffy brush with texture, and maybe one like this. It's a little bit thinner. The range is not as wide as this one. And going in with some of this green and yellow mix, and I'm gonna kind of just mix the two together to create a nice little equal color. And go towards the top. Here and there. You don't want to just dab it on. Like, be meticulous with where you're putting it, right? You don't want to go all the way to the bottom. And you don't want to completely cover it. Just a little. Sometimes less is more. It's like a makeup saying, I believe, but it also goes true for painting. Sometimes less is more. See that? Yeah, I get it, Jessica. That meter can only last so much, girl. It's been 5 years. I am pretty burnt out. Yeah, Anita, that's not to say, like, don't ever ask me questions. I just needed to take a break. That was it. That doesn't mean, you know, before anybody starts talking, that doesn't mean I just want to be rude about it. I just needed a little mental break, a little mental bee. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I wish you guys well too. And remember, I'm not just the only person that also answers questions. There are so many talented artists who I know are willing to share talents and tips and tricks and do tutorials. You know, Wanda is one who does one. I mean, she's been doing one for years as well. One like 2 tutorials a week. So it does get tiring. It does get tiring, but it's worth it. That's not to say I don't enjoy it. It's just okay to take a little break. It's okay. And don't ever let nobody make you feel bad about that, okay? You guys need to take a break. It's okay. So I'm gonna go in with some yellow. Oh, you know what I forgot to put down was my neon yellow. Where is that one? Where's that bad boy over here? The neon yellow. It's like a highlighter. I love it. So coming over here. Coming over here. Very, very bright green. And I'm just gonna line the top. Smush it down. I'm not creating a line. I'm creating a little bit of texture up here. Block out that little line that we painted ourselves. We're just highlighting the top here. Yeah, it's not to say stop asking me questions. I welcome questions. I think that have been very, you know, anytime that somebody does ask me, I immediately stop what I'm doing most of the time to answer those questions. So, and to help and to show, and there's been plenty of times, you know, where I've sent personalized videos to people, but imagine doing that, you know, like 2-3 times a day for different people. It does add up, you know. So I felt like there was days where, you know, I was so busy focusing on answering people's art questions that I was not focusing on the things that I needed to be, like my kids, my house duties, myself, my time, you know. And a lot of the questions also can be referred back to tutorials as well. Just gonna throw that out there too. A lot of the questions that I do get are, you know, about the wet palettes, or about the color combinations, or about doing fur. And it's like, I've done, I don't know how many fur tutorials by now. I've done a teddy bear, I've done a panda, I've done foxes, I've done owls, mice, I've done, did I say teddy bears? I've done a lot. So that's why sometimes it's like, oh, well, it's already there. I spent 2 hours filming a tutorial for it. So let's start filling in this little area here with our shrubs. I'm gonna grab another one of those thick, maybe this one. This one seems good. This has been my little go-to. And I'm gonna go in with some green, maybe a little pinch of yellow. I want the darker green because I don't want it so bright. And pat off the excess. And start filling in some shrubs over here. Coming in. Coming in, covering that tree trunk. Just a lot of greenery, a lot of really pretty shrubs. Foliage. Tap it down. See, my bristles are getting all crazy, so I might switch to a different one. Something a little bit chunkier to give me more. You gotta know your brushes. You gotta know which brushes you got on hand. Something chunkier to give me a little bit more texture. Work smarter, not harder, right? Just tap it in, tap, tap, tap. Kind of glad that the landscape was what was picked, because it's something kind of just relaxing that you can drown out to, and landscapes are something that are kind of hard to mess up. Something mindless to do, right? So from here, let's start filling in our waterfall. And the way that we're gonna do this is we're going to create a blue line down here using the teal turquoise color that I have on the palette, which looks like this. Maybe I'll just brighten it up a smidge with some aqua green. And go down here like this. And then from here, I'm going to grab another texture brush. I know that's pretty much all I use during landscapes, honestly. I'm gonna go in with just some of the primary blue, tap off the excess, and just swoop it down. Swoop it down, not all the way down, because once I get here, I'm not gonna continue those lines. Notice how when I'm doing them, I'm stopping right above the line, sort of, so that it has some coming in and out. And I don't wanna go straight down because this is 2 layers of waterfall. So they're gonna have different water patterns. Does that make sense? And the reason I'm doing blue in the back first is so that I can have some undertone color for the actual water, which will be baby blue with white. Baby blue and just a smidge of white. Mix, mix, mix. Tap and go back in. So when I was doing the blue, I was just going straight down, but now that I'm going in with my actual white, I'm gonna try to give the water some movement as far as dragging it down from the top. And yes, the top will be fixed, don't worry. And then once we start coming over here, move your water as the painting moves. Okay. Move your water as the painting moves. Undertone. You can go in with your fine liner, go in with some pure white, and start fixing up that top. Bring that water down, highlight it up here. We don't want to just do a flat line across the top, and the reason I say that is because then, you know, it doesn't look as realistic if you're just like line, line. You have to kind of give the water some movement. When you're looking at a waterfall, you're not just seeing a white line, you're seeing the movement of the water, the different choppiness of it. And just highlight. I don't want to highlight all of it. I want there to be, you can still see some of it in the back here. And this brush is not exactly fine lining. You can see some of the bristles are a little bit scraggly. I like that. It gives it a little bit of flavor, a little bit of texture. Like that. Honestly, I was thinking about doing a cardinal tutorial, but man, I was sitting there and it's easy for one to paint. Like, for example, like for me, you know, you guys see me painting like the wolves and the lions and the animals. It's an entirely different ball game to have to teach that, to say, yeah, this is where you start. Because sometimes I just do, you know, and it takes a whole other level of like planning and preparedness to actually say, okay, how am I going to teach this to somebody who has never painted a bird, never painted period, never painted an animal, nothing. Like, how do I break this down into shapes? So I am working on practicing teaching that for future tutorials, if that's something that you guys may be interested in. Cardinal. So, all right. Let's grab one of the thinner texturing brushes, and I'm gonna go in with some of the neon yellow mix with the light green. Mix that up, mix, mix, mix. Maybe a little bit more yellow than the green. Tap it off, and let's start. I wanna add a little bit more. I think I'm gonna just go in with plain yellow for this. Just a little bit over here on the top. I just felt like it wasn't bright enough. And just kind of cascade it down. You want to break your shrubs up and say, okay, it's not just one big blob. Here we are. And don't get crazy separating them over here either, because we're going to add flowers. Yay, pretty, pretty flowers. And let me see. I'm gonna add another layer to my white. I know it's kind of all over the place, back and forth, but remember that the replay will be available and you can go back, rewind, watch, fast forward, mute, whatever it is that you want to do, go ahead and do that. If you can't finish it tonight, that's okay. It will be on replay. It's just for time's sake, I'm kind of bouncing back and forth. so I'm not on here for an eternity, because I do feel like sometimes I wish that I had the patience to sit and do, you know, sometimes artists will do a tutorial that's time-lapse tutorial where they just kind of do the thing and then they kind of talk over it and generally explain how to do it. But even that takes a lot of time because you got to edit it. Not only do you have to film yourself doing it, but then you have to remember what you did, go back, do a voiceover on it, edit it down, and it's just, I'm too lazy for that. So sometimes I feel like people see my 2-hour tutorials and they're like, I don't want to do that. I just don't want to. So I don't blame you. I don't want to either. So totally okay. But is that something somebody would be interested in? Anybody like to do quick time-lapse tutorials? I do have a couple of them on my YouTube, but they do not get as much traffic as the other ones do when I do paint-alongs. Alright, so I just mixed a little bit of pink with purple to add a couple of flowers here. We're using that same scruffy brush. Give it a little bit of color, bring it to life. Maybe we want to have separate colors of bushes. Bruno, is your nose itchy? Do you have the sneezies? Yeah. Or is that Luna? Oh, that's Luna. Her allergies are bugging her. Gotta get some allergy pills from the vet. All right. Just a little bit of colored roses over here. Maybe we want to do some more baby blue on the outer edge. Maybe right here. Give it a nice little highlight from the moon. Little speckles here and there. They don't have to be plentiful. You just kind of got to give it the illusion like you know what you're doing, like I'm doing right now. Speckle it on, speckle, speckle. And then maybe we want to do some, I don't know, you guys pick your colors. I wouldn't suggest like an orange because it might look out of place here. I would suggest sticking with like baby blues, purples, pinks for your flowers. Something a little bit more mellow. See, you can't really see that. That's okay. I'll brighten it up with some baby blue. But then I feel like I'm just doing this color. Okay, scratch that. I'm going in with pink. Maybe some magenta. Some of that dark magenta with some of the neon magenta. And go in big and heavy over here. Or at least I am. I'm gonna add a big flower bush here and a big flower bush here. And literally all I'm doing is just tapping in. That's a lot of what my landscapes come out to be, is just tapped. And then I'm not rinsing my brush off. I'm just gonna dip it into some light purple and maybe add a couple of little rose bushes on top of that to get it nice and pretty. Maybe some pinks. I'm not rinsing my brush. I'm just dipping into the hot pink. Maybe adding a couple here, couple here, here. Just leaving a little trail of flowers. Maybe more some pink. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to start working on the tree trunk over here, which is going to be a little bit, I wouldn't say tedious, but again, you're gonna need your scruffy brush. Definitely invest in making yourself one. And I say invest because it takes time to do that. You have to smash your brushes down. An easy way to do it is just to get a little bit of paint, put it here somewhere in the middle and let it dry so that the bristles stay separated like that. let it dry overnight, just, you know, the usual. And I lied, I said I wasn't gonna use brown, but I actually am. So the color of browns that I'm gonna be using is just simple, this one, and just regular brown. So I have raw sienna and burnt umber. What time is it? 7:51. Okay, not too bad. We'll get in there little by little. All right, so I'm gonna grab these two colors. Well, first I'm gonna go in with some brown. The brown will stick out just a little bit from the black, and I'm just adding a smidge of the raw sienna. The raw sienna. I can't finish my sentences. Okay, and here I'm just gonna go squiggly. So let's wrap it over here. Let's wrap it over here. Maybe some of the lines will come this way. Some of the lines will come this way. And you can't really see it on the camera right now, but I will show you the difference in color right now. So let me just finish doing this. And I'm literally just scraping it across so that it gives it a tree trunk texture. Kind of doing squiggly lines. Can you see that? Let me see, hold on. Let me look at the live. See where I can adjust the light so you can see. I'm off camera. Sorry, it's because I have a screen protector, the privacy screen protector. Do you guys know which one I'm talking about? Like, you can't look at it from a certain angle, so I can't even see myself. And I'm just realizing that my camera is probably dirty. Has it been dirty this whole time? I'm a mess. Okay. Maybe if I turn it this way, maybe if I cover the light a little bit. Let's see. Well, I can see it in person. It's very, very hard to show it on camera sometimes because the light and the glow from the light just kind of messes up my whole jam. So I'm gonna go in with some of the raw sienna and just a smidge of that color that we picked up, brown. Tap it off, and let's go. Bring it around town. Start dragging out. We're just creating waves of texture here on the bark. Honestly, I'm pretty sure that my kids are gonna crash out anytime now if they haven't already. They also have been awake since 3:30. My son came down at like maybe 2:30 in the afternoon. He was like, "Mom, I'm tired." I was like, "Go to sleep." He was like, "It's not nighttime yet." We're just scraping it across. That's all we're doing. Nothing crazy. And then from here, let's go ahead and start working on this moon. I have a scruffy thread brush. Let me just kind of loosen it up because I'm pretty sure it still has paint from last week on it. Man, these have been through it. So a scruffy thread brush is just a brush that I got from Wanda's shop. They are fantastic for blending, creating moon craters. I'm gonna lay down a color of white. Again, I know this is like the third time I lay down a layer of white, but I'm just gonna give myself something to blend into. And what I mean by that is I'm gonna grab some of this black here. Maybe just a smidge of brown, so it's not completely black. Tap off the excess so that you don't just blob into it. Remember, my paint underneath this is white. And let's go around here at the top. I'm just tapping in directly from the top, creating some craters here and there. Use your finger if you want to. Use a dabber if you want to. It's picking up some of the white, so it does turn it a little gray, which is great. That's what we want. And then go in with a darker version of it. So, well, not the darker version, but I'm going straight back in with the color again and just building in my craters here and there. Just let the moon tell you what it wants to look like. Maybe there's a dark crater over here. And I'm gonna grab some white and then dip it into that bottom color and just tap into it up here. It's because this brush is too hard right now. I need a fluffier one. I need to wash that one because it is too stiff for me. I need something that's going to give me fluidity to blend the colors right. But that's what I get for not taking care of my brushes. I'm pretty sure I had the same problem last time. Alright, so I'm just adding in white as I see fit. Here and there, little spaces. Maybe we want another little, maybe we want to add a little bit of blue to it instead of the brown. Let's try that out. A little crater here, a little crater here. And then, you guys still with me here? I'm gonna use the same blending brush because this is a really great brush for me to do what I'm gonna do next, which is I'm gonna grab some of this darker teal that we had. I ran out of it, so I'm gonna go back and create it again. It's not enough for what I'm trying to do. Smidge of black and lots of teal. Okay. So I'm gonna wipe off most of the paint, right? On my, I already did that on my palette. And then I'm gonna grab, kiss the water with my brush. My paintbrush still has the paint. And then I'm gonna come in here and create a shadow blend. Wiping off the excess, and I'm gonna use my brush to scrub it across. Get rid of those harsh lines, blend it out. Wash it off, tap it in if you need to. We just want it watered down. We don't want to go in with dark color because then it's going to take away the beautiful nighttime blend that you did here. What glitter am I picking up? Is that Give Me Twinkle? Probably. And do the same on the opposite side. Very, very lightly applying it. I mean, very, very lightly. It's almost like you're trying to not break the rock in the process of painting it. And I'm just gonna take my water and try to blend that line out. Don't pick up your paint. If you're picking up your paint like I am here, you have too much water in your paint. So tone it back, wait for it to dry, and come back and keep building on those colors. Building on them, and that's why I say that it's easier to go in with watered down versions of shading instead of just slamming it in there, because then you can, if you don't like it or if you think it's not enough, you can keep building on those colors and those tones to create the perfect shading that you want. And so here in this little area we have to create like the little foam that happens when the waterfalls hit, right? And we're gonna do that with some baby blue. Got my little fluffy texture brush, and I'm just gonna tap it in here lightly. Create a little bit of movement down here. Create a little splash. Oh, there goes Bruno. And create a splash down here. And we're gonna lead it out this way. And that comes down to helping me also with any lines that may have gotten out of control when I was doing my little tap, tap, blend, blend. And then you're, of course, gonna go over that with some white. Tap off the excess, make sure that your bristles are separated. And go over that. If you feel brave enough about your blending, this is a lot of tapping, right? A lot of tapping, a lot of raking over. If you are a little bit more comfortable with your blending and you feel like you want to create more of a misty look, what you can also do is grab some of the white onto your brush, very, very little bit. See how there's not a lot of pigment on there, and create a little bit of a mist. Very lightly. I'm barely touching the rock. I barely have any color on there, but you can create some fog. Not enough paint, hold on. I'm trying to get the perfect paint to pressure ratio. You can go in and just kind of scrub. See how I'm doing very short, quick strokes. Short, quick strokes. I'm holding it like a pencil, and I'm just very, very tight down here, but loose up here, if that makes sense. Loose up here, tight down here. And just create your little fog. Like that. There's a lot of talking. Liz Kathy, you underestimate yourself. You're actually a really incredible artist. I very, very proudly display my panther over here that you painted for me. Absolutely love it. My mom loved it too, by the way. So I'm going to grab my fine liner, and I might actually shade this a little bit darker too with that same green teal combo. Just bring that color down. I'm gonna aim for 8:30 at the latest to finish this, okay guys? Very simple tutorial. I've done another waterfall tutorial. It was in another group though, and I don't remember if I ever got that one uploaded to my YouTube, if I ever had a chance to save it before I left the group. And so here I am doing another one. Waterfalls are just so peaceful. They just make me happy. So I'm gonna do reflections in the water, but I decided to do the shading first. And right now, instead of doing that while it dries, I grabbed a little bit of baby blue on this fine liner that's just a tad bit scruffy. And I'm gonna create lines back here. Very select, very random, mostly on the outer edge. I don't wanna go too far in here because this is the light from the moon. And you're giving yourself a little bit of separation so it doesn't just look like a scraped blob back here. Not a lot. You don't want a ton of really thick lines here. You just want it to kind of highlight the fact that there is some back here. That makes some sense. Yes, the Hawaiian waterfall. I can't remember for the life of me if that one's on my YouTube or not. So from here, this is dry. I'm gonna grab some of my, I'm actually gonna water down some black because I do want a little bit more shading down here where the rocks are, because right now they look like they're just kind of floating in there. We want to sink them into the water a little bit. And for what I'm trying to do, I'm gonna try to reflect some of this moss down here. So let's see, hopefully I don't mess this up. Watering down my black, wiping off the excess. So yes, I do have some black on here. And let's bring that down. Let's just build that layer down. heavy around the rocks. Maybe a little bit there. And if it's not dark enough for you, keep going in. Remember, just slow and steady wins the race. Patience, patience. Your paintings will go through an ugly stage. Don't give up because it looks frazzled just yet, because you always have room to go back at the end and tweak it to however you want, you need. All right, we're sinking the stones in a little bit more. And then, grabbing this liner, I'm gonna grab some of this green here that we made, which was, I believe, just this and some of the neon yellow. And if you don't have neon yellow, definitely recommend getting some first of all. Second of all, just use white with yellow and try to make the brightest yellow that you can. So I gotta think, my reflection for the top of my moss is going to be coming in a circular shape. So I'm just gonna create some lines down here, kind of like at a curve. Some lines and some lines. Very little, they're kind of like striation lines. You're just giving a reflection onto the water. Very, very minimal. And then I'm going to grab some of my aqua, which was this color, with a little bit of white. And add some striations here. Drag it across. See, this one was one of the kind of like fluffy. Can you see that? Like not all of the bristles are together. It's not a fine liner. It's a fine liner, but the lines aren't fine. The lines are not fine. So that's the effect that I want. I want it to look like multiple little lines. It's water. It's ripples. Like that. My water's kind of crooked, huh? It's okay, because you know what I could do? I could just break it up where it's crooked with some dark teal. Bruno, what are you up to? What are you doing? What are you doing over there? I'm just messing around. Grab some of the dark teal and let's go in and create some lines over here. Oh man, it's like I'm so scared to pick up paint that I'm not picking up any at all. Man, my kids are still up. They're still going. Mama's about to have a long night. I think that they're at the point where they're so tired that they just are probably not gonna go to sleep anytime soon. And then I'm gonna extend some of my bubbles out here. I'm grabbing my little pointed fluffy brush and just kind of tapping wherever it feels right. And you'll notice that my taps are very like side to side. And get a little bit chunkier the closer we get to the waterfall back here. All right, we're getting there, we're getting there. So, from here, I'm gonna have to have a lot of faith, trust, and pixie dust. I'm gonna grab some darker green, smidge of black. Same brush I've been kind of using throughout this whole process. And we're just gonna drag down, okay? I know. Have some faith, trust the process. And the closer I get to the end, it's like I'm swooping down. Oops. Say, like I start off here and I swoop. Like I'm lifting as I'm going onto the page. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm doing this down. See how I told you don't stress about the sky, don't stress about the details on the tree. It's gonna get covered up anyway. And we're going to cover this tree trunk up too, by the way. So you don't even gotta worry about doing any type of stuff over there because it's gonna be covered by these beautiful, what are these called? What is the technical word for the, are they leaves? Like what is this, hanging moss? Like a hanging moss tree? What is this? A willow tree. What is this stuff that comes out of it? Leaves? Somebody asked ChatGPT. I knew somebody would have the answer. Connie and Deborah coming in for the save. Thank you. Spanish moss. When Diana's too tired to think, here come the gals. Thank you. Okay, so next, you already know we're gonna go in with another layer. But listen, Linda. Here we go. We're gonna try to I wouldn't say center it, but leave enough of the dark color that's in the back so that you know that there's layers of this, okay? And we're just scraping. That's all we're doing. We're just literally scraping down. And I'm not going like this. I'm not gonna do, where's my practice rocks when I need them? So let me do this with white. Oh, it's a little bug. I'm not gonna do this. We're not trying to get logs, right? We're trying to go in with an angle so that it kind of leaves a little bit of a striation, doing it from the top at an angle. Does that make sense? So that you get more of this effect rather than this effect. Oh, I have white. I have white on my brush. It's okay. And if you need to separate your bristles or you need to switch brushes, go ahead and do that, because I'm probably gonna do that right now and grab a like scragglier brush, a better thread brush, one may say. Go down it, go around it. You're just adding the Spanish moss to it. You know, technically, if you don't feel comfortable doing this method, you could, you know, go and do like individual lines and try to create, hold on, let me grab this fine liner. Try to create the same effect by doing lots and lots of tiny little lines, but that's gonna take probably an eternity. So again, work smarter, not harder. Save yourself the time, save yourself the effort. Nobody's gonna judge you because you're raking across a rock to create texture that ends up looking pretty cool. So I'm gonna drag some of this down because, you know, the ones over here are longer than the ones over here, and just don't want that. We want balance, we want proportionate, sort of. And then the last color that I'm gonna do on top of this is some of this golden yellow. I didn't even use these two, with some of the neon yellow. See, some of these colors I didn't even use. And this one, I'm only gonna be looking at where's the light hitting your Spanish moss? Is it hitting it on this side? For this, no, it's hitting over here. Oops, hold on. I have to do it at an angle because that's how I've been painting. So it's hitting here. Where's your light hitting your moss? It's on this side, because this side is what's getting directly affected. This side is what's getting directly affected. So do it on the side that's closest to the moon. I'm trying to go on the outskirts. Not so much in the center. Honestly, I failed at this part, but it is what it is. This is just demonstration purposes only. If you want to go in with the smaller fine liner, go ahead and do that, because that's probably what I should have done. Not a lot of yellow, okay? But again, it kind of all ends up connecting. Yellow, yellow, yellow. See where I'm going with it? So I'm gonna add some more flowers down here, kind of spruce it up a bit. I'm gonna add some shading into this waterfall. Let me do that. So my brush is completely wiped clean. It's a scruffy brush. And I am going to be watering down some of this dark blue. I wouldn't even say dark, just primary blue with just a smidge of black. Just a smidge, not a lot. You still want the blue to be visible. Tapping off so much of the excess. And I'm actually gonna shade here in the center. Why? I'll show you why right now. I'm gonna tap off or rinse off all of the excess water, all of the excess paint, and I'm just gonna do here in the center and here towards the bottom. Why? Just to kind of give it a little bit more of a realistic feel to it. So it's not just a bright, bam, in your face blue. And you're letting it show that the light from the moon is hitting up here and up here, because it's wider than the rest of the waterfall. Hopefully, if that makes a little bit of sense. I know I've been painting at an angle for most of it, I'm sorry. And let's do some moss, some like pink moss. I need a good little fluffy, this one. This has been my little go-to today. And maybe we want to add some flowers, do your purple pink combos, do your purple baby blue combos. Maybe I want some of them to stick up out here. Maybe we want some fern-like plants here. Man, I'm like not picking up any of my paint. Am I blind? This, just kind of pop it out. Maybe they want to be spread out like this. Maybe we just need a brighter pink, Diana. Here we go. Just add some plants, add some foliage, add some, maybe some pink with extra white in it. Brighten it up, spruce it up. Just a ton, layer upon layer of flowers, greenery, shrubs, the works. This is a little oasis paradise that you found on a excursion into the deep, I don't know, Hawaiian forest, and you stumbled upon it, and it's your secret hidden treasure. Maybe I want some darker flowers here, maybe some dark purple, because they are a little bit further away. The brighter that we are to us, the brighter the flowers should get. That didn't make sense. It's okay. So let's grab some, I kind of want to add some like fairy lights, like, you know what I mean? Some like bokeh lights, bokeh. So for that, I'm going to grab a little bit of a fine liner. And then I'm going to grab some of this golden yellow, maybe a little bit of white just to brighten it up. Tiny, oop, I got the wrong color. Tiny smidge of white. I'm starting to slur my words. I'm starting to get tired. So I'm not gonna keep you guys for much longer, I promise. This is not the right brush for this. I need like I need a good fried brush that's semi-clean and not run down. Hold on. This is perfect. Look, it's brand new. I promise I won't let you get as dirty as the other ones. Okay, going in with our little golden yellow. Just gonna do a couple little circles here, little circles there. Very lightly. We don't want full color. I did tap off most of the paint, tap off most of the color. You want it very, very light. And this yellow that I have is the very pigmented one, the one from Pro Acrylic. And we're just creating a little light space. There's a little fairy dancing around here somewhere. She's happy. And then once you do that, you may want to go in with some neon yellow or just some very, very bright yellow with some white. Blend that in a little bit and go in the center of that and just tap in. Does that make sense? I'm just tapping it in the center of the bigger yellow dots that I did to give it a little bit of a glow. I'm not circling it to make it bigger. I'm just tapping in the center and give it a focal point where the white is coming from. And then grab that same color, the neon yellow and white mix, and just put a little dot in the middle. So it creates an outer glow. Like that. And then of course, you want to go in with your watercolors. I think for now, this is as far as I'm going to go on this. I don't want to do too much because, you know, less is more. We got the basics. We got the waterfall. We got the rocks, the moon, etc. Oh, we need the glow around the moon. If you don't have watercolors, this is your time to shine. We're going to grab a little bit of, hold on, let me make sure before I go in that this yellow is off this brush. So if you don't have watercolors, I would suggest using an aqua color with some white. Tap off most of it and go around the white here. Kind of just create a little glow. I'm just using the fluffy brush. Just tap around, create the glow. I feel like I recently just created a glow on something. What was the last tutorial that I did? What did I do? What did I do? I think I did the whale tail. Hi, honey.
Hello.
Are the babies down?
No. Titi's looking for his baba.
Oh. The backpack maybe? Or the pink bag? One of the two.
Okay.
And you create your little glow around the moon. Personally, I would have just used this one, the Pacific Blue. It's one of my favorites for creating a moon glow or a nighttime glow around anything. Unclock it. Oh, perfect, because my laptop's about to die. So I will not have comments in a little bit once it does. Well, I'll probably be done by then. I said 8:30 and it's already 8:25, so. All right. So I got some of my Pacific Blue Jelly Gelatos and I'm just gonna go around this moon here and do the same effect. Use the glow. The white and the aqua is just if you don't have any of the products, that's okay. Definitely recommend getting them though, because they do make a difference. believe it or not. I don't think that I've ever met somebody who has tried these and has said, yeah, I kind of just regret buying that. Like, everybody has been like, oh my god, I love these. I'm like, yeah, I know. I use them like on every painting. Add some highlights here and there. I'm almost done, honey. Add some highlights here and there. I'm gonna grab maybe some, where's my watercolor palette? Just go have fun with it. Definitely gonna grab some of this, pineapple. And use that around my very light glow. Like this. I mean, it's like, it makes a difference. Well, for me, it makes a difference. Maybe it doesn't for you, but for me it does. And then let's go in with some baby blues. Just grab whatever watercolors you want to use on this. This is the fun part for me, so I wouldn't tell somebody what colors to use. Of course, you're always more than welcome to use any of Wanda's products, anybody else's products, like whoever's products you need to use. But me, I'm like 98% of my stuff is just from Wanda, so. I'm gonna grab some blue and kind of just give it a little shimmer down here with the waterfall. Oh, you know what? Let me activate my Gibby Twinkle while I'm here for the water. Hey, Jennifer. How you doing? Grab some pink. Adding a couple little dots here and there just to give it a little glow. I feel like this is a tutorial that I've already done before. Like, I've done something I've done stuff similar to this so many times. Maybe I should have done that. Honestly though, the owl I feel like would have been a two-parter for sure. Just the drawing alone would have probably taken me like 45 minutes. Let me see, maybe somewhere over here. And we want to add some of the pineapple over here. Give it a little glow. It just really makes it pop. These are jelly gelatos. They are liquid gels. A liquid gel is just, it's like very easy to work with, watercolor type of thing. I don't know, liquid gels are hard to explain, like, unless you've actually worked with them. Like, it's like a paint, but it's not a paint because it's shimmery, but it's like watercolor type of shimmer, but also easier to work with than watercolors because you don't have to activate them. They're just very versatile. I mean, you could literally paint an entire painting with these. There's so many colors that she has. I mean, just pulling up a couple. Like, I have a whole tin of just liquid gels, and you can use them to paint with. You can use them to like I do. This is what I do with them, is I will use my whole thing with acrylic, and then I'll go back in with my glitter, my watercolors. You know, like this one is my little Gibby Twinkle, but I have it in a pan. So I mean, mix up your what's it called, your mediums. It's okay to take the risk. There is no right or wrong way to do it, I say. Like, as long as you're not using like oil-based products on the rock. I've never worked with them. I know that other people have, like, I believe Kristen Harvey has done an oil painting on a Santorini. I wouldn't have any advice or tips on that because I've never done that. But I know that oils take a really long time to dry. However, with acrylics, when you're working with like watercolors and stuff like that, like, don't be afraid to like mix them in together. You know, nothing's gonna happen to your painting. knock on wood. But so far, this is what I had. I didn't really like shimmer it up too much. I might add some sparkle up here. Maybe like mother of pearl would be a great one. This one's very, very pretty. This is a glitter whip, and it does kind of change color. It has blues, it has greens, it has small fine glitter. And this one would be just so pretty up here. And if you wanted to reduce the amount of like floral tapping that you had to do, if you wanted to just squirt in some liquid, some glitter whips, you could probably do that too, and just do it in clumps, like a clump of pink here, a clump of pink there, you know, for your glitter. So don't forget to paint your sides black and initial, yada yada, put your name on it, sign it. But simple, quick, well, almost quick, simple 2-hour rock. That should be kind of easy. Hey Vanessa, what up, girl? All right, that's all I got for you guys today. I'm off to go lay my butt down. It's been a very long, very emotional day. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. I know my smiley meter is not always going to be at 100%, but I appreciate you sticking it out if you did, and for taking the time to watch, paint, interact with me. It does not go unnoticed, and I very, very much appreciate it. And I will talk to you guys soon for the next one, which hopefully won't be too far apart from this one. So thank you guys. I hope you have a good night and a good weekend. Stay safe.